Hello, hi, welcome. How you doing? I'm doing fantastic. Thank you so much for asking. I'm Dorcas and this is Dorcas Library. So welcome back. And today we're doing our Q2 wrap up. So without further ado, grab a drink and let's get started. So we're gonna start in chronological order. We're gonna start with April, May, and June. So we're gonna do this very quick. I'm a bit late, but please forgive me. Yes, all right. So the first book that I actually read in April was Oh, never mind. The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches by Single Mandana. I read what's the second book? I think it's like the same universe. Really, it's called. Uh, okay, this title are so long. What's it called again? I'm so sorry. A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping. Okay, that's the second book that's called. Okay, the title was so long. So that's the first one that I read. Absolutely adore A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping. So I started this one. In this book, we follow our main character. Mika, who's a witch, but she's nobody's supposed to know that she's a witch. So when one day she got like a message on the internet that said like a witch is wanted, so she had to go to like this manor in like far away in okay, all of this is happening in the UK, so I don't know how far away is it. So she had to go to like this manor like a little bit farther away so she can teach three young witches. But the thing is like it's not they're not supposed to have like all of these little witches at the same place. So yes, this book unfortunately my thing is like I don't hate it and I don't love it, okay? I finished the book and I'm like, okay, it's a book. There's like I didn't have any strong emotional connection to anything that was happening. So that was a bust. I did not like that at all because I love A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping. That book like made me cry every single time that I listened to it. So this one like I don't get it, like I couldn't feel anything, like okay, like the book's finished, I'm like okay, it's a book, so what else? So yeah, I mean a lot of people, this is actually a lot of people's favorite, but like this one it just didn't do anything at all for me. So yeah, that's how I started my April. And like I think I've reread it at least like 2 times so I can like I'm like maybe I want to get it, but at the same time I couldn't get it. But yeah, it is what it is. You win some, you lose some. Okay. All right. That was the beginning of our April. Okay. Let me move this over. No, left it down. All right. So the second book that I read was a little novella called "By Me Twice." It's like a black sapphic novella, and it took me months. When I tell you, I started this book I think like somehow early last year, and I just finished it in April. Why? I don't know why. Okay, it took me months to actually finish this little novella. It's like a little paranormal novella. It's a smutty paranormal romance. Okay, it's not like anything groundbreaking, but I don't know why it took me so long to actually finish the book, which was weird, okay? But at the same time, it was fine. It's not like if you're looking for a very smutty paranormal romance, this is for you. There's a vampire, and she saw like this little human that she literally was obsessed. So yes, it was good, but at the same time, it was just a smutty little novella. So yeah, it is what it is. Okay, so next I read One Day Everyone Will Have Always Been Against This by Omar El Akkad. This is like if you watch my media freaked out, I talked about this book briefly in that this is like one of the best books that I actually read this year. This is a new copy because the actual copy that I read I noted it so much, but I gave it to my dad so he can also read it. So I got like another copy. He's supposed to get this copy, but I haven't seen him in a minute. So let me stop talking. Alright, so this is a nonfiction, and this is like Omar El Akkad in the midst of the genocide in 2023. He posts, I think he tweeted like this little phrase that one day everybody who has always been against this. It's like this little tweet that I memorize it, but I'm forgetting it right now. So this book is based on that tweet, and it's just like a divorce from the West, and this was very very morally grounded for me, because the way like Omar is telling the story, he's adding like his little life experience, and also like what is happening like in the world, and also ask the question, will you be on a side of history, and what if that history is happening right now? What is your role in that history that's happening right now? And it also question, the morality of the West, and question like liberalism. Like I hate liberalism so much, because at the same time they would look you in the eyes. It's like, yeah, I get it, but at the same time we still have to bomb the Middle East so that we can have our oil. So it's like it's very heartbreaking, but also morally grounding for me. So this is like a must read, and I think everybody should read this book. Okay, it was absolutely fantastic, and like I like it. I think like you should also give this a try. I think it was absolutely fantastic. All right, so the next book that I read was what's the thing called, a graphic novel. It's called Tall Water. So this book, we follow a girl that's her mom is in Sri Lanka, and she never saw her mom before, and her dad is also a journalist. So when her dad has an assignment that he has to go back to Sri Lanka, she's like, can you take me? But it does like, no, this is like a in the midst of the civil war happening in Sri Lanka, and it does like, this is very dangerous, I can't take you to a war zone. But she was very reluctant, and then she bought a plane ticket behind her dad, and then she went to Sri Lanka also by herself, and now they're both of them there in the middle of the civil war that's happening in Sri Lanka. And this teach me a lot. I didn't know a lot about Sri Lanka, but it was very nice. And also while she was there, there was like this tsunami that devastated Sri Lanka in the middle of the whole, it's like in the civil war, the tsunami. It was a lot that was happening at the time, and also she had to like reconcile with her mother, because it's the first time she's also going to see her mother. So yes, it was very nice. It teach me a lot. I wish it was like a little bit longer, so we can like see her work more on her relationship with her mother, but at the same time it was very good. And that's how I ended my April. So the April, in all of our, it was only 4 books, but it was very nice. Okay, I like it. I like how we have like a little bit of everything in the mix. So yes. All right, so next we have May. My May started a little bit different, because for the first time ever I went to Canada, so that I can meet my friends. This trip was like absolutely fantastic. So while on that trip, I started Recipe for Unexpected Afterlife, and I've read this, like it took me the whole trip to actually finish this book. And I was so disappointed after I finished the book, because I had so much higher expectation for it. So this is a cozy fantasy. I love cozy fantasy. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, but I love cozy fantasy so much. So this one, it follow an undead orc. He has been undead for so long, and there was a tyrant king that made him undead. So him and a couple of his friends, they overturned the tyrant. So now the new king that's in place is like, okay, you have done enough. Now it's your time to rest and go find out that what you actually want to do with the rest of your life. And he also wants to like open a restaurant. So my thing is like, this book, it was good to a point, but like sometimes the world building contradicted itself, because at one point we have like, okay, this orphanage is like, okay, the king is actually pay for the orphanage, but at the same time, like the orphanage does not have enough food to feed all of the people. I'm like, okay, so which is it? Is the crown actually taking care of the orphan, or do they not have enough? Like some, it's like those little thing like that. And like one of the orphan, like main character, he created an attachment to it, and you can know like right away that this is gonna be like a father and daughter relationship. He's going to like adopt her at one point, but it just like the emotion wasn't there. I wasn't like everything that was happening, I'm like, okay, I want to feel it, just like I couldn't feel anything. So yes, that was very very disappointing, but at the same time I think like if you like cozy fantasy, you can give it a try, because this is like, I like more black people writing cozy fantasy. Okay, I think, yeah, more black people should write more fantasy, that's more cozy fantasy, or anything in general. So I don't know, it's not bad, it's not bad, it's just like I wasn't like, everything was, I think that everything was a spoon fed to me. I couldn't feel anything off the page. Like there was like some moment that like clearly this is supposed to be like an emotional moment, but I couldn't just feel any of it at all. So yes, that was that. Anyway, so after that, I've read Le Normand Volume 2, and this is very, very sweet graphic novel. And this is volume 2. I've read volume 1 last year, and this is like a parallel world. We have like a magical world, and then we have like a regular world. So we have our main character Sebastian. He just left the regular Paris for paranormal Paris, so that he's just not getting into his power, and he went there so he can live close to his aunt. And also that same night that he left and came to this Paris, the paranormal Paris, he met this boy at a club, and then he kissed him, this cute vampire boy, and then he kissed him, and it turns out that that boy is actually his downstairs neighbor. They live in the same apartment, and it's just like, we follow them, and they also have like their friend group and everything. This is super cute. Okay, this is very very cute. I think everybody should read it. Okay, it's absolutely fantastic. So this is volume 2, and you should start with volume 1 and read. It's not finished yet, so it's not finished yet, but I think it's still like a webcomic. So if you read both the volume 1 and volume 2 and you want more, there's a webcomic that you can sink your teeth into. So yes, this is very very cute, and I think everybody should read it. All right, next, to finish May, I read With You by Marley Valentine. This is like a little sequel novella to Without You by Marley Valentine, and that book came out a couple years ago. It's been so long. So this is like, we follow Deacon and Julian. We see them like, get married, have kid, and like, just plan their life, just live their life. Okay, it's a very short novella. So yeah, this was very very sweet. And I mean, if you haven't read Without You, this is not gonna make any sense to you. It's just like this, like, I think she did this for like the fan of the couple, because it's just very sweet to see these people like, and there was like, in the first book Without You, there's a very strange relationship with Deacon, his mom. She's now like, I mean, she wasn't like the best mom, and now in this book it's like, now that he's also having kid, he's also have to question, do I want my mom to have a relationship with like my kid? So yes, he also like had to question all of that. So yes, this was very very nice, and that's how I end my May. It was very very cute, and yeah, read Without You first, and then read With You. It was very sweet. Okay, so the next 3 books, I'm gonna talk about them as one. So I started June with This Winter Solitaire and Nick and Charlie by Alice Oseman. I rewatched season 1 to season 3 of Heartstopper. I still haven't watched the movie because I just don't want it to end. Okay, I haven't read volume 6, and I also haven't watched the movie because I just don't want it to end. Okay, so I'm keeping them until like I have that feeling, and then I'll go back and I'll watch it. But I watched the season 1 to season 3, and I just needed more of Nick and Charlie. So if you watch season 3, I think it's the second episode, like the first half of the second episode in season 3, when Charlie came back from impatient, and it was Christmas time. This winter is literally that little first half of that episode. So it wasn't, I've read it before, so it wasn't anything that I haven't read before, and I read it again. It was very, very sweet. And then I read Solitaire. So Solitaire is very, very different from Heartstopper, because this is we're following Tori, and I would say that the whole book, she's like in a depressive episode, like the whole book, okay? And we see her go to school. She's also trying to unmask like this person doing all this kind of prank. The truant, I think it was a Higgs. I think it was a Higgs. Yes. So we follow her and we see like her day-to-day life. She's just very, very depressed, but the thing is, like, I just wanted more out of it. I just wanted her to have a little bit more of like help. I just wanted her to get some help. And also, like, there was like, this book is like after Heartstopper, okay? Like, this has been I love the way that Alice Oseman like just wrote like this whole book, because this is the first book that we see Nick and Charlie in before Heartstopper even started. So you can see like the little crumbs of Nick and Charlie in here, and it's just like, it's nice to see those crumbs. I just wish that Tori had more help, okay? I wish she could go to like maybe go to therapy, okay? It's just like at the end of the book, I'm like, yeah, I like it, but it's just like I just wanted more out of it than I had. So yes, and after that I read Nick and Charlie, and this is literally like it's also from season, is it season 3? No, not really. No, it's not season 3. This is like an alternative uh universe, kind of, because I heard people say that Nick and Charlie came first, but in volume 6, the fight that I had in Nick and Charlie, I heard people say it's not like the same fight that I had, and it's a little different, okay? So I've also read this before. I reread it again, so it was also nice, okay? It wasn't that bad. It was also very, very, very nice, okay? So yes, I read like this winter Solitaire and Nick and Charlie. I just wanted more Heartstopper, so yeah, that's my thought on that. And I think next I read Moss in Space by Rebecca Thorne. I got this like an ALC on NetGalley, and this actually pleasantly surprised me. So this, we follow our main character Torian, who she just bought a spaceship because this is like a sci-fi, is like very far in the future. I think it's like the year 1000 something in the future. Now humans are living in a space stations, and the space station that she live on is like recycled air. So her sister had like this disease that most of the people that breathe like this recycled air have. So her sister need like a better air quality. So she bought a spaceship so she can go to this other little, it's not like a planet really, on this little planet where it's like a little more like the way Earth used to be, but you have to take an exam, and it's like a merit-based society. So she bought a spaceship so she can go and over there so she can see if she can pass this exam, and so that her and her sister can relocate to that little planet so that her sister can have better quality air. But the thing is, the spaceship that she bought actually has like a sentient Mars system on it, and I'm not gonna lie, the Mars is the sentient Mars has like an abandonment issue. Torian has like a very horrible it's like she doesn't know how to stay alive, okay? She's always putting herself in a horrible situation, and I love it, okay? It was very, very cozy, but also very, very nice, okay? I didn't expect anything going into it, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it so much. So yes, this is the first in a series. I don't know if it's gonna be like a duology, a trilogy, or a quartet. I don't know. I just know it's like a first in a series. So it's very, very nice, and I want to see how it progressed because I really, really enjoy Moss in Space. So you should definitely check it out. And to end the month of June, I finished An Unlikely Coven. Yeah, that's the title. An unlikely covenant. So this is a black sapphic fantasy, and it's also like a kind of a cozy fantasy, but not really. But it has cozy moment in it. Okay, so we have our main character Joan, who she just came back to New York after years of college, and she's very estranged from her family. She's like literally the black sheep of her family because they're witches, and her witch's power is totally different. So when she came back from college, suddenly there's like this human that was cast somebody cast a spell on this human so that she can so this human person can have witch's power, but they don't know who did it, and also don't know who this human is. So when she get a call from her best friend who just kidnapped this human person so that he can protect them, now she had to figure it out how to help this human without her family knowing, because her family are not good people. Okay, so yes, has like a very beautiful fun family. I love a lot of stuff in it, but it also introduced some themes that at the end of it, after the book was over, I'm like, okay, yes, I get it, you're trying to protect this like new fun family that you get, but like, what about the rest of the witches society? But at the same time, this is a duology, so I think the second book is coming in October or November. I can't remember, it's one of them. So I can't wait to see how like the book handled those themes that was introduced. So yes, that was the end of my month in June. Okay, just like a spoiler alert, I didn't read anything in July. July was zero. So Q3 wrap up should be very, 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 very short, okay? Because July, nothing happened. Yeah, so that was the end of my quarter. It was very, very nice. Like, I didn't hate anything. Everything else it was fine. It was fine. Yeah, this year is not the best for me reading wise, but we're pushing through, and the rest of the year had to give us something. Okay, so thank you so much. If you're still watching, tell me what was like your standout from Q2, anything that disappointed you. If you read any of this book, if any of them interest you, just let me know in the comment section below, or just like send me a little bat emoji for Le Normal, because you know our vampire turned into a little bat and it's super, super cute. So yes, give me a little emoji. So take care of yourself, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. And as always, free Palestine, free Congo, and free Sudan. Bye.